Okay.
Hey everyone, we're here live at the Hoboken Historical Museum in the upper gallery. We're being engineered by Rand Hoppe, and so glad you could join us. Our program is broadcast through YouTube and Facebook and maybe whatever they call Twitter these days, but YouTube is our main platform. And if you are registered, you'll be able to text during this program. We're really happy to bring you Domenick Amato, and this is Hoboken Talks. And Domenick is one of our favorite people in Hoboken. I can say that very easily. And we're going to have a great talk here. And we hope we don't talk over each other too much, which we've been known to do. Usually when I see Domenick, it's at the intersection of, where are we? 8th
and Garden.
8th and Garden. And I should say, welcome to the program, Domenick.
Thank you, Bob.
There we are.
I appreciate
Wow.
it very much. Right.
And Domenick is, I think I'm going to call you the mayor.
No, the ambassador of the corner. That's
Ambassador of the corner.
Of 8th Street.
I guess he does share some credentials with Mario, who's right across the
Yeah,
street.
he was our tenant.
He was your tenant. Okay. But everyone knows the corner by Mario's and Mr. Rapp.
Yes.
And chances are you've seen Domenick pacing around and acknowledging people and sort of helping with things. If there's a young kid crossing the street, he makes sure like they're not in the path of a car and things like that. But how long have you been at, where are we again? 8th and Garden.
8th and Garden. Okay. We moved in. My father bought the building in December of 63, right after JFK, President Kennedy. Okay, with that episode. Okay. We had to wait until they were still using coal in the building at the time. So on the basis of a good friend of my grandfather, it was a plumber, a Salino. He says, the first thing we have to do here, they're still using coal, we're going to put a new gas heating system. And that's what they did. So that took a couple of months. So we probably moved in February, March of 64.
And this, as you talked before, this was under the advice of your mother. She was a little tired of moving around.
Well, yeah. Well, we came here in 58, and we lived in a few places. We lived at 227 Clinton Street originally for a year or two. And then we also lived at what's presently Church Towers, which was at 4th and Grand. Okay, and then I had to knock that building down because in order to build Church Towers. So from there we went to 8th and Willow, and at that point my mother says, this is like from 1958 to 63. Says, see what you got to do, but
You're moving every year and a half. It sounds like.
And it's not,
Sure. And you say you came here from 1958. Came
Yes.
from where?
We came. Provincia Salerno, Monte San Giacomo was the name of the town. It's up in the hills. It's up in the mountains. It's near. It's way up in the mountains. Okay. There's a lot. We had about 10,000 people in Hoboken in the '60s that came from the town. That and the other town will be Molfetta.
Sure.
Okay. But I'd say that we have probably more people here in Hoboken. My grandfather was here from 100 years ago. But we have more people here from Hoboken than I was actually in the town left in the 60s.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, everybody, that's just the way it was.
It was mainly because people needed work.
Yeah. Well, but the problem was that we had everything in Italy. I was 9 years old when I came over here. We had everything. It was, the best. My father had wheat fields. We had 300 sheep, and we had one place I call it a lodge, and there my mother could, she would plant tomatoes, and then we have peppers and fresh running water, etc. But just from that, my mother would make from the wheat. She would make macaroni. Okay, the original, and this is, you can't get any closer to nature than that. Okay, he had a couple of goats and the sheep and whatever, so he had milk and he made cheese from the milk. But it was once again my mother. We had everything, so and everybody was started in the 50s. Everybody started moving out of the town. They were going, coming to the United States and Germany and whatever, and Brazil also. So my grandfather was already here. That's a long story, which we cannot address at this point. We'll address it. I mean, I can. I have no problem. But my grandfather was already here from 1910, so before World War One. Okay, and but he was already over here. So my father started making papers to go to Canada, which was one avenue, etc. So when my I have an aunt. My father has an aunt in Hackensack, and they're still there. One is a police chief of Hackensack, actually, was. My father's aunt got the news in Hackensack, and so she says, your son is going to go to to Canada. So and she came from Hackensack to Hoboken, etc. So he said, well, if that's the case, let him come over here. I'm here, and this is like 1955. Let him come here. And the word got back, and of course, my mother was, like I said, we had everything, but there was the dollar wasn't there, the money wasn't there, the lira, whatever. We had everything as far as living wise, etc. But there just wasn't, you couldn't make, if you go to America, you're going to have the streets of gold. Okay, if you
Was that true?
Well, according to my mother, it was. She created it such.
So, what's your impression when what do you remember when you first came to Hoboken at that age?
Oh, no, when I came to Hoboken, I'll tell you, it was January 31st. In 1958, I'd say, in my lifetime, was the hottest winter that I definitely experienced. Because in February, we couldn't go to school. We had snow piled up 6 feet high in a car. Okay, and for 2 or 3 weeks, there was no school because you just couldn't. What would happen was, this is on Third and Clinton. There's Manos, wasn't Manos? Now it's but that was Manos. Pepsi, a bottle of Pepsi was 12 cents. Okay, the hard bottle. Yeah. So, but what happened was, in the morning, okay, they couldn't keep stuff. There was a store on 4th and Grand. Okay, they couldn't keep stuff on the shelf in February and March of '58. What would happen was, buses had steel chains and still couldn't get around. Okay, my father had to go to Hackensack, so that's where his work was. So he just stayed over with his aunt in Hackensack, rather than go back and forth, because he had to take 2 buses, under normal circumstances, go here to the Dungesses and then to Hackensack. So he would just sleep over. But what happened was, now, at 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, there's snow on the ground. It's, for a month. I mean, with 2 or 3 weeks, there was no school. There was no school. And that's why I say it's the hottest winter I've seen and will see in my days. But a truck, big covered truck, would pass with chains on the wheels, okay, would pass by 3rd and Clinton, 227 Clinton Street. That would pass, and he's going a block and a half at the 4th and Grand. Okay, that's where the store was. Okay, at that time. What you did then was, as soon as you saw the truck pass, and he would have milk, basics, milk, bread, very basic, you would have to get there within the hour or less, because the food and whatever the truck brought in would be cleaned out. There was nothing on the shelves. Just how it was. Just how it was.
So I'm getting chills. You telling this story. Well, one, I've never heard it.
Well,
and then
talked a lot.
Yeah. How old are you?
This is 9 years old. 10 years old.
Gotcha.
I was 9. And by Christmas, I was 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, by that Christmas.
And you have this amazing recall for numbers. Mm. You can. Which later helped you in life. But
as I became a chess player, etc. And we won a state championship in chess, Hoboken High School, which I was co-captain with Mr.
We'll get to that.
Yes.
So let's move.
I'm strong in mathematics.
The reason we have this background, which I usually allude to, but I wanted to get a little background first, is that in your, I guess, teenager years,
Yes.
you teamed up with a famous peddler in town, Michael Ferrante, and that's kind of how you got your start in a way with financial things in life, right?
Financial and life itself.
Yep, and life itself. This is the cover of one of the chapbooks that we've produced, which you were featured in. I think we looked up the date. It was 2010, and it seems just like yesterday. And
2000,
it's one of my favorite books, and it's one
Yes.
and really a lot of it being the story for sure. And the fruit truck, Recollections of Domenick Amato. We still have a few copies of these, and it's one of the few chapbooks that we produced it,
Right.
we distributed it,
Yes.
and then you got involved in, shall we say, financing a second printing, as I remember.
We did. Yeah.
And I don't think anyone's ever done that before.
Really? No,
Yeah.
you must have others.
Well, maybe, but
No,
you're
I
the
think
one I remember.
I think Ortega, she might have done it.
She may have. Your memory's much better than mine.
Well,
so,
yeah.
on
I
that.
excelled in mathematics.
Okay.
Over 4 years in high school. I had the highest grade. I had the highest grade of anyone in mathematics.
Okay, let's go to some other pictures because we're trying to do
Okay.
this chronologically.
Yes.
So
This
this
is the
is
beginning.
this is the beginning, and
this is
we're kind of jumping around, but
Yeah,
it's
no, this is the
okay.
beginning. This is the
Look at
beginning.
those pocketbooks; it's amazing. I never noticed it before.
Oh, yeah,
but
but-
this is on the other side. This
This is in Italy. This is in Italy.
and
yes.
is this the hometown?
On Monte San Giacomo. Yeah,
Right.
this is a block or so from our. It's in our neighborhood. Okay, it's within a block. It was it's not that very big. There was there was only 5 cars in the whole town
Wow.
in the 50s. Yeah.
So horses, big on horses and carts,
horses and
donkeys,
donkey. Yeah, sure.
and this must be you and your sisters and your mom.
My four sisters. Then there's a 5th sister which was born in the United States in 1960.
So I see who's mom holding?
Pasquale.
Okay.
We were supposed to come here in '57. Okay, but he passed away.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, that's my mother. She had that was so I had a brother for about a year or two.
Okay. Got it.
Pasquale.
Got it.
Pasquale.
Do you want to introduce your sisters' names? You don't have
Oh.
to. You don't have to do left, right, but just who are the
All right,
what names?
start with the oldest. Okay, which is to the right. Well, it's to my left in the picture, or whatever. That's Antoinette. Okay, yeah, and then Rose is the one that to the right of my right shoulder.
Uh-huh.
That's Rose. Okay, Rosina. Yeah, whatever. But they're all in the United States right now.
Right.
Within a half hour of Hoboken.
Right.
Then the other one is Marie. Okay, and then the youngest there is Francesca.
So who did I see yesterday? Francesca. Yes.
and Antoinette.
Got it. Got it.
That's
What a great shot.
Yeah.
And do
yeah.
you think you were getting ready to go? Come over here or
Well, we would have came that year in '57, except that the Pasquale passed
Oh,
away.
right. Yes.
Because my father came here in 1955.
Right.
When my so he was already a year or two, and the thing was he was going to come over here, and then we were going to as soon as he settled, found a place for us to live or whatever, he got a job, and he would call us up because it's his family, so that's not it's
Sure.
not immigration wise. There was no difficulty in that sense.
So I take it that your mom was a strong woman?
Strong in that. Well, she, like I said, she is the glue of the family. Strong in that she can keep a lot of factions and make peace. And she would settle that. Well, anything that's fair. Well, first of all, there was nothing that she would not do for me or any of us. Whatever was necessary on her part, okay, she was capable of doing. Okay, and she would make macaroni 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning with my father's wheat. Okay, she can make peace out of war. Okay, she was capable of doing that. Okay,
Right.
with individuals, no question about it. Okay, she would know how to handle it. Find the right solution to the problem. Okay,
Sure.
because if you just go in there into conflict, then you're just gonna but you're not gonna get nothing solved. I think so.
And that's a lot of people to,
Well, it's five. It's five,
Yeah,
six kids.
definitely,
So and
definitely.
plus, my father was, he had his own mind and et cetera. So he was not easy to deal with. But she was able, to bend, whatever, she could bend steel. Okay,
Ben Steele, I like that. Okay, we're going to move on. So 58, so
So
you're,
this is the United States now.
right,
I went to Haley School in 58, as we said, the good part of it in 50. And that would be 58, 59. So that would be third grade, fourth grade, I guess. That,
and just to remind people, Keeley School
Yes.
is, where is that?
It's on Fifth and Adams.
Okay.
The building is still there. The structure is still there. It's a very nice building. It's got a lot of marble and sediment inside.
Right,
But right now it's a condominium. Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
like everything
it's-
else, it's been
it's been rehabbed for residents, but it's a classy looking building.
Yes, no, it's like a castle. It's like
Exactly.
built like a castle. And
Yeah.
And inside, what there was and still is, there's a lot of marble hallways and stuff. And,
Sure.
And they redid the auditorium. Okay, and they opened that up, etc. But that was it was a good school. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
did you have a hard time fitting in when you first came?
When I first came in, okay, I was strong in mathematics. I could do multiplication, etc. in the third grade, and they were still doing, they were adding, subtracting, whatever. So my very good, nice lady, okay, she was, I was only went from February to June, and so it wasn't very much time. I was in third grade, and the question was whether they would promote me. But she says no, he's much better than the other kids in mathematics, and so I'm going to go along with it and just I mean, my English improved dramatically from February to about June. By June, July, I already can pretty much handle myself on the streets of Hoboken in English.
Right.
And so,
But it must have been, language is so important. It must have been hard, but they knew you were very smart too because of the mathematics.
the mathematics.
Yeah.
Because of the
So
mathematics.
math saved you a little.
Yeah. And she says, no, I'm going to graduate. And
Sure.
and that was that. And,
Gotcha.
she was very nice. I forget. I don't recall her name right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
That's okay.
it was only a couple of months, but very nice lady.
Sure.
Yeah.
And
On that basis, she says.
we have a few shots from school, but here's Scouts, obviously. What do you remember from Scouts?
This is on Clinton Street, 227. Across, this is a factory. Oh, right across the street. We live right across the street from that. But I was 241. 241. It was down in the projects or whatever. Mr. Banky was there. His son was a classmate of mine, etc. So we just, it was just a nice picture. And I mean, I was in there maybe 6 months, a year at the most, or whatever. But because this is the very beginning. This is like 1958, 1959.
Right.
Because we lived on 227 Clinton Street for maybe about a year or two. And so it would have to be in that time frame.
Would you go to camp, or is more activivities in Hoboken?
We went. I think once or twice. We used to go up to Stevens. I remember. I mean, this is in retrospect, etc. I mean, I didn't think about it then, but we had meetings every Friday, and the troop would meet, etc. And that was basically in the summertime. In the summertime, I started working on the fruit truck, so I didn't have time
Right.
to participate in those activities. But on Friday night, 7, 8 o'clock, I mean, that was no problem.
Friday night was Scout night.
Scout night, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sure.
Cool.
Banky, whatever, like,
So we got some family photos here.
okay.
And
Okay.
who we looking at?
Okay, that's my mother and father. And this is when Rose got married. Okay, Rose is the one after me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that will be about 1970.
Gotcha. Nice shot.
Yeah, that was about 70, 71 at the latest. She's a year or two. Oh, this this is my father with a good friend of ours. He was actually, I knew him when we were in Italy. He was about 4 or 5 years old. Angelo, his son is Angela Chet. But he is the funniest storyteller. I remember in Italy, I was about 7 or 8 years old. It was him and Antonio Cicotte. Okay, Antonio, this is in Italy now. before I was 9. This is like when I was about 12, 13 years old. This is over here in the States. Well, this is this will be after 63 because this is the backyard that we have with the grapevine. The grapevine isn't there yet. Okay, but this is this and that's out. This is the property that he bought in 63.
So you're kind of looking north, and that's
Looking
8th
north.
Street down below.
Right, the 8th Street is right below us. Yes, and that's the Nick. Now that's with the garage, etc. And then
Right,
that's
and the clothesline, of course.
Oh yeah. My mother, she was washing clothes and stuff. We have clothes.
And were you kind of leading to a story with him, or?
Yeah, okay. In Italy, what happened was I was about 6 or 7 years old, and there was Antonio Cicotta. Antonio Cicotta is the father of Frank. He passed away a couple of years ago. Cicotta is what's his name? Frank. He lived on a night. He was at the club of Mondo San Giacomo, 9th and Park Avenue. Frank Costello. That was his father, and he was a butcher. Okay, in the neighborhood. Okay, they all lived like this, all across the street from each other. Okay, and so he's I'm 6, 7 years old, whatever. And what happened was they used to go through the fields, etc. And he had an axe. Chopped his leg, hit his leg.
Whoa.
So he was disabled for that summer. It was the funniest thing he was a joker. He used to make me laugh every time I ran into Hoboken, whatever. It would take me a half hour, at least an hour. We have to walk, and I have to listen to him. He was funny. So him and so he would. He broke his leg, okay, with the axe, whatever, in the field, whatever. So for that summer, he couldn't go to work. So it would be him and Antonio Costello, okay, and they would start singing and telling stories, and oh my God, the good times. I mean, talk about enjoying life. I mean, that was
So are we in Hoboken or Italy?
This is in Italy.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, this is in Hoboken. But I knew him in Italy
Got it.
before I was 9 years old. I know him from as soon as I was born. I mean, because he was in my neighborhood. Angela Chet. But the funniest man, he could tell stories, and oh God, Italian, even.
So would he bring his stories here? Like,
He did.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he did. Oh yeah.
Gotcha.
In Hoboken, when I run into him on the sidewalk, it would take me a half hour, an hour just to listen to him because he was a joy. He had a sense of humor, and he had a thing on life that that I appreciated from etc. And I just enjoy listening to him. Okay, for a half hour, I'm ready.
I like that.
And I thought that,
Gotcha.
and that's my father. Okay,
Uh-huh.
and I'd say this is well, it would be after 64. After 64, so he didn't come here until 67, 68. Angela Chet. So this could be late 60s, early 70s.
Right.
Could be maybe high school. It's late 60s, early 70s, maybe even. Sure.
And when you're...
Oh, no mustache. In late 60s. Late 60s.
Okay.
Late 60s.
There's your memory again, kicking in. I guess a couple of years ago now, we did a book called They Taught Us Well. It was authored by Bill Miller and Vincent Cassessa, and they had a lot of fun interviewing students and teachers. And I know in conversations with you, high school was an amazing experience.
It's a very good time for me, yes.
And do you want to share some things about high school? I know we have some pictures too. This is a book that actually is available for sale in the museum, and we got good sponsorship for it, and we're really proud.
Yeah, no, he did a good job. I think he's class of 66, Bill Miller.
Right.
And I was class of 67. 66 or 65 at the earliest. But I remember him, but not so,
Sure. So do you want to pick a teacher that really made a difference in your directions?
Yeah, I have to say Mr. Urbano. Okay, he was
We got him up on the screen.
okay, Frank Urbano, yes. I had him as a teacher in 11th grade. Okay, but my association with him was much more than that. Okay, 11th grade was algebra. Okay, well that's what But I ran into him in the 10th grade. Okay, because I was strong in mathematics, and Mrs. Musini was another good teacher that we had also. And so I said, since I'm good in mathematics, I want to try. I'd never seen a chess piece until I went to high school in 10th grade. And I said, well, let me give it I think I might like chess. So I went there, and he was the advisor at the chess. So in my 10th grade, I didn't play on a team or anything. I just practiced, etc., and didn't actually participate on a team until my junior year. Okay, but I practiced, and because we had these other people which were senior to me, that there was, and I taught, and I learned from them. Gunter Schmidt and Gunter Schmidt was a good teacher in chess or whatever. So anyway, we won a state championship by my high school year, my senior year, and that's in '67. We made a tremendous transformation, and at that point, there wasn't anything that we would ask that he would not do for us. The way I garnered him into my corner was in my junior year. There was only one the chess team has 5 players. There was only one person returning from the previous year that played chess. And then, in addition to myself, I was on the team. And Calabrese was also. We had 4 of the 5 players who we were new in my junior year. So he didn't want to go. He didn't want us to participate in the state in the state tournament, etc. I says, well, I'll pay it. Hoboken High will pay the fee, etc., and we'll make all reservations, but I'm not going to come with you, okay? Because he just had reservations. We might embarrass ourselves.
Huh.
Okay, we don't know. We don't just it is unknown. Okay, but I picked it up, and I guess me, Tommy Brennan, we became co-captains. Okay, we were co-captains of the team. But at any rate, the way I won him over was he used to live on 8th and Hudson. So we went to the state championships in Newark. We came in second in the state, out of nowhere. So we had the trophy, and we bring it to his house on Sunday night. It says, Mr. Obano, we came in second.
So he actually didn't go with you?
No, he did not go, no. But that's the only thing he didn't participate. After that, anything we wanted, it was guys. And he was shocked, and we said, we came in second. Oh my goodness. But he was a very patient man. I give him a lot. He can deal with me because I was pretty vociferous. Well, Tommy Brennan was also his father was a teacher in audiovisual in Hoboken High School at that time, contemporaneously. And what I didn't know was I had his mother for a teacher back in the 5th grade. Okay, I didn't realize until afterwards, whatever. Even when I didn't put the Mrs. Brennan when I I had her in the 5th grade, etc. At Kelly School that was. But I didn't realize it at that time, and this is in high school now. But at any rate, with us coming second, and anything we wanted, Mr. Obama, we went. He took us. There's 5 players. He would put all 5 of us in his car, and we went to all the different high schools in Hudson County. Bayonne or North Bergen was strong. Bayonne was good. Jonathan Joseph's. But whatever we had, he would, that's it. We was favored. And, no, but he was such a nice man. Though I hated this. He could easily be taken advantage of because he was quiet, etc. And I seen people take advantage of him, etc. And I said, hey, look, because because I know him pretty good. Every Friday night he used to drive us up to Jersey City Y, and play chess. We went through everything. It was just a teach. It was just a nice association.
So if you felt people are taking advantage of him, would you tell him or would you go to the student?
No. I would tell whoever the person is, hey, cut that out. I'm not going to stand for that because I know, I know what's going on here, etc. And I know, because I know his nature. I know him pretty well. I mean, we got to know each other really well. Okay. But teacher, student, but also with the chess. Once we came in second in the state, and then the next year we won everything. We just ran we ran the gamut.
Okay.
And we became state champion. That was the only time Hoboken we had students in Hoboken, which I was saying before, was Gunter Schmidt, and the other guy was he went to Stevens. He had a 4.0 at Stevens. Ray Heitman. He was a chess player also. He's 2 years ahead of me. But he got 4.0 over 4 years in mathematics. He was a math major at Stevens, and he went to Wisconsin. He's a PhD, etc. But brilliant mind. But we put 5 guys together. Okay, it was me, Tommy Brennan. We were co-captains, and it was a good. And we brought up the back end because we made the other guys stronger. In the meantime, okay, Carl Beast became a decent player, etc. But we had 5 boards. Not one or two, like Ray Heitman was strong. Okay, he's probably the better chess player well, he was ahead of me. So, Gunther was a good teacher, etc. But they didn't have the back end of the 5 boards or the middle, which we did, and so we're strong on top. And so we just ran. We went undefeated.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I don't.
And that never happened. And never happened afterwards or before, including when Tom Gaynor, as I understand now, is the principal. Tom Gaynor was the principal when not during my years, but the chess club went back to 1947, 1948 under Tom Gaynor, which is way before my time.
Sure. I mean, you always hear about Hoboken sports years, the Stinson years, football, baseball, but I've never heard of the wrestling prowess.
The chess.
I'm sorry. I meant to say chess.
We were the only team, and we've had strong, people which were strong in mathematics and strong, but because we did it as a team, and that's all. And also, he orchestrated it because he made the team, Mr. Bono. Okay, because, he had the patience of a saint. It's not quite so much about it in my mind. There's nothing that would.
But would you actually learn how to play chess, or would they just pit you against another good player and you learn?
What I learned from Gunter Schmidt. Okay, my sophomore year, etc. And then what I hated to do was I had to play Mr. Urbano in tournaments. What I hated to, because I'd become pretty good. Okay, and then there was no match.
Meaning you beat him.
Yeah.
You didn't want to say that. But
no, it broke my heart. I mean, but the thing is, I play chess, and that's when I sit down at the board, I'm gonna if I'm capable, I'm gonna do what's necessary. I have a tremendous story in my senior year in high school. We played Bayonne High School. Now chess will take you 4 hours, and I can lose 5 pounds doing a chess match.
really?
It's total concentration. Total concentration. Bayonne was good. So was Nightbergen. They were there. Bayonne had this guy, Jonathan Josephs. He came with me. He became a chemical engineer. He came with me down at Rutgers. We went together. We're the same year. So it was 2-2 the match. And there was me and Jonathan Josephs going at it. Okay, on the board. After about 3 or 4 hours, everything else was done. And there was Mr. Urbano sitting around, etc. And so that's probably the best game I ever played, I guess. I consider it to be so. So I'm playing with him, etc. And he's up a pawn. Okay, which is at this point, and we're getting near the end game. Okay, we're past middle game anyway, near the end game. And if I keep going playing with him, I'm going to lose. Or best try and draw. Because a pawn or even a piece or whatever it was. So I'm looking at the board. I got to figure something out here. Okay. And I saw something on the board after about 20, 25 moves. The game could be 40, 50 moves, whatever. I saw something. I said, and this is a gambit. I sacrificed my queen in the process. Okay, I've never seen the kid went white. He was in pretty good shape. He was up a pawn, etc., and he was going to beat me, etc. I saw something which 4 or 5 moves ahead. He didn't. Of course, he didn't see it because if he saw it, sacrifice the queen. Now, queen is 8 points. The strongest. The rook is 5, and the king is what the objective of the game is. So if you lose the queen, that's 8 points. It's not a pawn. It's you better be right. Okay. So I go down. He looked at it. Oh, so I kind of I said, oh, what did I do? Mr. Bonner's next to me a little. What did you do? Mr. Bonner, please. Calm down. I got this under control. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. Oh, but, Mr. Bonner, please. I went back. He took the queen. Okay? He looked at it and this is definitely a mistake. I mean, I wonder. I mean, it can't be. Okay, he took the queen. I make my next move. Okay, what I had seen was that the back end, as long as I can get my rook, the castle, down to the back end, that's I haven't. He doesn't realize it, but his position is such that, which is what happened. So he makes the next move, and I make my next move, etc. He still didn't pick it up yet. Okay, and he makes a move, and so now he sees what I had seen. In 3 moves, he's checkmated, even though he's up a queen. He went white. They just lost all color. Wow! I mean, it was the best game I had. And within 3 moves, he resigned. I checkmated him, and he was a good player. Jonathan Josephs. Yeah.
Wow, your recall is phenomenal, to say the least. How long ago was that game?
This is 1967.
Yipes! That's incredible. Very exciting the way you told it.
No, it was the best game because it just shocked him. This color just dropped out of him when after a couple of moves, he says, I'm exposed to checkmate. It's 2 moves, and I got nothing I can do. So I mean, it can't.
So do you play anymore?
In college, Jonathan Josephs tried to get me on a Rutgers chess team, etc. I had to study as a civil engineer. Time I had Hoboken High School, I had to I was strong in mathematics, but my English, whatever, I struggled. Okay, that's the only way I can say it. Physics I enjoyed, etc. But it took me a while to be able to put. I had a good concept in my head from Mike Ferranti. He taught me the right way. But the thing was that and he had concept of human nature, which is quite something else if we get around to this. But yes, my mother and Mike Ferranti is, they're synonymous with the best advice that can be gotten. But what happened was there was too much stress, okay, in college, so I just didn't have the time. So he invited me a couple of times. I did go to West Point one time with him, place, but I stopped the chess in college.
Just to focus on other things.
Well, there's just simply too much for the engineering for 4 years. I had to really work. I worked very hard, especially my sophomore year.
Gotcha.
Well,
the chess thing was totally news to me, so I really enjoyed that exploration.
We talked about a lot of things.
Yes.
And we'll talk about Mike Ferranti at some point.
Yeah, so here you are, and where are we?
High school.
High school?
Hoboken High School.
Yeah.
My junior, senior years.
Classic shot.
Yes, those were good days.
And you graduate
1967.
Wow.
So this would have been 66, 67. Something like that.
That's a great shot.
Yeah, that was, sure. Those were good days. That was, with the heyday. I was working on a food truck.
Right. So let's get into the food truck.
Yeah, since we...
And we call it fruit truck, right?
Fruits and vegetables.
Okay, good. So you've mentioned Michael Ferranti a few times.
Yes.
Give us some background, and we're looking at his naturalization papers.
Yes. Okay. He was in the business of selling fruits and vegetables, actually from the Depression, as I understand it. Okay, his business until he passed away in 72, 73. So, and then his son continued the business into the 90s. So from 19...
That's
yeah,
Bobby.
Ferranti.
Yeah.
That's his son, yes.
So it said he was 5'3"
And,
in height and 175 pounds.
no, he was heavy set.
A little heavy set.
But I didn't... He didn't look so 5'3" to me.
Okay. He looked shorter?
No.
No, long.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Who knows? Who knows?
No, well, I didn't look at it. We
So
didn't get into statistics.
So there's no one really doing a fruit truck in Hoboken anymore.
Right.
So you're saying
correct.
Michael
Ferranti.
was
Yeah.
kind of the dean of fruit truck.
Yeah.
Sellers.
There was quite a few of us.
Can you want to throw some names out that you remember?
Well, there's Saco, etc. There was over a dozen food trucks.
Wow.
In the 60s. Over a dozen, yes. Because you would buy your fruits and vegetables from us because we're selling, at that time, we're selling apples 3 pounds for half a dollar, 4 pounds for half a dollar. If you went to Finest or Acme, whatever it is now, you'll be paying 40 cents a pound. So we could undercut them half price. And the stuff is just as good, and if not better, than because we.
And where would you get the fruit?
Originally, the fruit market, fruits and vegetables, was on the west side, in the downtown, or by the World Trade Center. Okay, on West Street, you would go into the that's what Mike used to do. He would go into the Holland Tunnel, and he could do that 4 or 5 in the morning, and get back by 8 o'clock to load up for the regular day. Because you will come out of the Holland Tunnel, you make a right, and there's West Street, and the market was right there, and that was that. But then it broke his heart when he couldn't go to the market, and because they moved it from when World Trade Center was built, they moved it up to the Bronx, Hunts Point.
A lot further.
Yeah. That takes you have to. You couldn't go there in the morning. You have to kill the day just simply at the market in order to be able to do it. So when they moved up there, it broke his heart because he couldn't go to the market. So we had a buyer, okay, Anthony Ciccolella. Okay, he's in the book, but he would buy for a whole dozen, 12, 15 people. He would go up every day with a big covered truck and go up to Hunts Point and every day, but he was just a wholesaler, okay, and he would sell to all of us, 12 plus trucks and food stores and etc. Because
So you would have a warehouse he would come bring stuff to?
he would have big refrigerators on Willow Avenue, yes, and we had a garage on Jefferson Street, on which is Mike Gugamelli. We had a garage there, and we would park the trucks in the garage and we would store fruits and vegetables overnight.
So was Mike friends with your family, or how did you meet?
Okay, 1958. Okay, after my first 6 months over here in the United States, school finished in June, whatever. So my mother is talking to a good friend of hers, Michelina Rianese. So she was. My mother, it was here in 1958, so she didn't know anything about, the United States, and so she was teaching her, and et cetera, and she would use it, she would consult her, and then they were talking, then she's talking to her friend, Medina Rianese, and she lived on Adam Street. Her husband was K&E, Carefulness, and that's another character. He was funny, man, too. But so my mother's saying, well, I don't know, what are we going to do with this kid? And he's going to get into trouble on the streets of Hoboken, etc. So she says to him, I know this friend of mine, and this guy that I buy my fruits and vegetables off, okay, in a food truck, whatever. So she says, I'll ask him if he can use him, to keep an eye on me, and at the same time, work for him, whatever, to take bags up to it's a Hoboken, so it's 3-4 stories for each building, whatever. So I'll ask him. He says. So she talked to Mike Ferranti at the time. She knew from whatever, and because she bought stuff, and she knew him for years and years, etc. Because she had been in Hoboken for a lot of years, 34 years at that point in time. So she talked to Mike, and she says, "All right, bring the kid over. Whatever." And, the point was for my mother was get me off the streets, because I'm gonna get into trouble, That was the whole objective. They brought me over there, and
So you got along.
yeah, he liked the kid. Okay, he talked to me and said, he told me, you got to bring this up to there, and
So would you
This is
like
I'm 10 years
just
old.
park on a corner and
Mike Ferranti, what we would do is we would drive around Hoboken. We start on Jefferson Street, 5th and Jefferson. We'd drive around, and then finally we parked on a corner on Lou Avenue by about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 3, 4 o'clock, because all the ladies, everybody passes by. There used to be factories over there. There was us, like I said, there was another guy, Carmen Unicorn, okay? And on the corner of 7th and Willow, which is where there's a sign there that says Bobby Ferranti Corner, but it originated with Mike Ferranti.
and Bobby being the son?
The son. After Mike passed away, then Bobby took over the corner after that. And there used to be Ralph's Candy Store. There was a corner over there. There was Paul's Television also over there. But all the people at 3 or 4 o'clock, they would all come out of the factories, all the ladies. So they have to go home, cook, whatever. So they would pick up all... we'd get busy. Like, it was a good corner. So first it was just us. Then this other guy, Bob, Carmen Unicorn, saw that we were doing a good business over there. And to show you the type of man that Mike Ferranti is. And he parks on the same corner as we do.
Ooh.
All right? Now, we're already there. Okay? My thought was, hey, Carmen, look. Or anybody else reaction will be, look, you got to find another corner. I mean, I'm here, and you're not Mike Ferranti, though. Not Mike Ferranti. No, he didn't look at it that way. He says, "Don't worry about it. It'll all work out." Okay, he parked there, etc. And we both made money. Okay, but what Mike's patience in the matter, okay, it worked. I saw something in human nature. We were parked there, and he's parked on the same corner. The two trucks side to side. Now we have we have more or less the same stuff, close to it, whatever. There's some differentiation. We in what we're selling, because each buy, you buy what you like on the truck, whatever. We'd have some items different. So we're working there, etc. And I'm waiting on customers. Our Carmen's waiting on customers as well. Okay, right next to us, whatever. So a customer will go to his truck and say, "Carmen, give me 3 pounds of apples." Says, "Sorry, lady, I can't give it to you. You have to go. You have to go to Mike's customer. You have to go buy it off of his truck. Okay, if he's I can't get you." And that shows, in my eyes, shows respect. Okay, I mean, you don't, I'm not to serve you. It's that simple. That was his policy. And and the lady would come to us and say, "Mike, give me 3 pounds of apples, and give me." But he did that a number of times.
So just to make sure I get it, so if it was a new customer that Mike hadn't had, it would be okay for him to sell to her?
But if he knew that it was that she had, because she was right there.
Right.
He saw our customers, and she would know. They have an eye for human nature, and they can tell. They can sense things.
Right.
Okay. He would know.
So one of your specialties is when you went driving around, you're not set up,
Right.
and you'd be at 11th and Willow.
Right.
Would someone call from a window and say, "Peaches"?
Give me 3 pounds of peach. Give me etc. And
So she wouldn't walk down.
No. I would bring it up to them.
You would bring it up.
They can just tell it through the window, whatever.
And knowing that you have a really good memory for numbers,
Yeah.
would you have to write it down on a bag, or would you?
No.
You just knew that she owed you $3,
Oh yeah. No,
which would be a lot of peaches, I
yeah.
guess.
That was 3 pounds for $half. Sure.
3 pounds for $half.
Yeah, 5 pounds for $half.
Okay, 5 pounds for.
And potatoes is 5 pounds for a quarter.
Okay, and you have this memory. So I think when I first met you, you just would have so much fun, doing your calls for the different fruits. So just for our audience, they may be a little surprised how robust your voice is. But could you demonstrate a few calls that you would give?
You're driving on a street in Jefferson Street, it's a 4th Street. So you have to make yourself heard because the people have to come out of the window. Okay, they know more or less you're going to be at 2 o'clock or more or less. Yeah, but there's still you need to know for them to come to the window or whatever. So Mike had his call, and mine came out more from Bobby Ferranti. Okay, that's when he had more of the American, which is it would be peachy, tomato, strawberries. Here we got it for $1. Here we have it for $1. Best idea, watermelon. Etc. But you had to make yourself heard. Okay, because that was the whole thing. Okay, they had to know that you're on the streets.
So you didn't have a PA system or any
PA
magnification.
No. Mike would holler. Mike was
okay. So
and Bobby had his. Bobby's more English. Okay, Mike actually I don't recall. But he had a melodious voice, but it was more of Italian. Okay, but it's just a question. You have to hear the voice. Okay, that you know that the fruit guy vegetables it's outside in the street.
And would you ever do it in Italian or?
No, mine was English. No,
yours was English.
Yeah, I took it after Bobby.
Gotcha.
I couldn't. I didn't find. Mike had certain melodious, but my calls it was in English.
And these are the days when you had other type of services that would be sold from a truck, right?
Well, yeah. There was a milk truck. There was they used to get milk and you used to get there was a lot of things that Adrip, which is what he was selling. Watermelon. The guy would have a whole truckload of watermelon. Best idea, watermelon. And he would have a truck. And here we got it for $1. $1 was the whole watermelon.
This is sort of like early rap music, but for street peddlers. I kind of like it. Never thought of it that way, but it's very rhythmic.
But you had to make yourself heard because otherwise the people are going to come out. They don't know that you're there. Okay, they suspect that you're going to be there within that hour or whatever. Because we had certain. But once that then they come to the window. Okay, and that so. When I was a kid, whatever, Mike says, bring this order up to the lady over there, and he said she has to give you $1.80 or whatever, $2, whatever. $2.
And would people ask for credit, like we'll pay you next time, or would you?
Well, Mike had a hard, many people, not me, but Mike, okay, etc. There was Mike, a lady would come to the truck over there and say, Mike. My husband gets paid on Friday, whatever. I need, says, Senor, what do you want? What do you need? Dominic, give him 4 pounds of apples. Give him, when you have the money, you come and pay me, okay, etc. And I would register in my mind because I knew, I would keep track of it, etc. So a couple of weeks later, we haven't seen the lady or whatever. So I said, Mike, quella signora t'ha pagata. No. Well, I suppose she spent $5.50 or whatever it was. And said, yeah, go knock on the door and see what she says, and so I would, but I would, and so I would go up there, and every time, whoever it was, Senora, Mike gave you the stuff 2 weeks ago. 3. Oh yeah, Dominic, yeah, no problem. Yeah. Oh, schools. And everybody paid, because you don't have the heart to negate. He's doing you a favor, and he had a heart of gold, to say the least. That's just how he was, and he knew, and I never understood the way he understood human nature. I know mathematics, I know science, but what he knew about people. I wish I could have picked it up and but it's something ingrained, and I think it comes from the Depression. Okay, you learn what hard times are, and you understand what. Never mind money, etc. I mean, money is important. Yeah, he never denied that. Money's, you need money, but there are things which are more essential and more important than money, and he instilled that part of it into me. I tried to learn that lesson, but he lived it, and he knew what hard times was. So from that, it was the crucible of how he. I wish that. I could, I would understand it, but I just follow it.
Well, it sounds like, you had an academic training. You go to college and get your degree in civil engineering,
yes.
But it sounds like Mike Affrenti was
He was a philosopher.
Was street smart guy.
Much more. Yeah, no, he put my professors in college to shame.
It's great to hear you say that.
No. He had a handle on human nature. And as a matter of fact, that we kind of, in my junior year in college, I had to sit down with the dean of the engineering school. This is during Vietnam. This is 1970, about that time. And I sat down in my junior year in college at Rutgers. The dean of the engineering school, there was the associate dean, Dean Del Mastro. Okay, he was a civil engineer. He was one of my professors in determinate structure. I liked the man and everything else, but he was a good teacher, and I was one of his better students, actually, in his class in determinate structures. And then there was also, there was three of them, okay, another professor there from the civil engineering department. And we were having a discussion as to, it became optional whether I could, this was an extreme situation with Vietnam. It became optional for us in my junior year to take your final exams. You can get a grade or whatever grade you have up to that point. It became optional because of Vietnam. We had, they were burning down buildings, etc. It was a hectic time. Okay, but anyway, so now discussion with the three of them. So it says, well, why don't you want to take, take the exams or whatever, whatever they wanted me to do, etc. And so out of that, so all of a sudden, somebody came up with their knowing life or what life is about. It says, okay. This came up, and I said, okay, listen. I flipped, because then what I did was there was a metamorphosis of me, and I brought to mind in front of them in my discussion for the next 10, 15 minutes with them, with the three professors, and the dean of the engineering school and the associate dean, and what is life about, okay, so then I just regurgitated to them all the things that Mike Ferranti had taught me for 10 years. When I was 9, 10 years old until now, 18, 19 years old, 20 years old, whatever. And I just threw at them everything, all the concept of human nature, with the things that he's discussed, etc. It just came out of me, etc. So, you want to talk about life? Okay, this is what life is. And I just told them what Mike Ferranti philosophy of life was. And for about 10, 15 minutes, they didn't say a word. At the end of that, it says, Dominick, that's what you want to do? That's what you're going to do. That's it. There was no further discussion. But it just, it came out of me because it was not something performed or, what is life? Okay. I told him. Everybody, 20 years old, but I'm telling that these 40, 50, 60 professors of mathematics, etc. But he had a better handle on what life was. Okay? Or what what is the philosophy of life? Okay, they were professors. They've written books and etc. But he had a better concept.
Wow, it sounds like an amazing moment.
Yeah, they just for about 10. I just I just simply regurgitated everything that he taught me for 10 years. And that's simple as that. And,
sure, we're going to be getting into the hour, so we're going to wind down a little bit. There's Bobby Ferranti, who took on the business, but we do have this amazing story you have to tell, how Michael Ferranti in a sense, rewarded you for your dedication to working with him?
Well, in my senior year in high school, I was going to go to college in September and become a civil engineer, etc. And the school year was finishing up, etc. So Mike comes up to me, he said, and he's, Mike comes, we were talking, and we were always, we're always together, and it was like hand in glove. I mean, I knew what he was going to do before he did it, and he knew what I was going to do before I did it, etc. So he goes to me, so in September you're going to go to college for engineering, whatever. He says, yes, Mike, I'm smart. He knew I had good grades. I had the highest grade of anyone in mathematics, etc. He says, yeah, I'm going to go to. So he goes, well, that's going to take some money to pay for college. Okay, yeah, it's going to take some money. So at this point, he's paying me so much a week, whatever it was, okay? He says, well, okay, you need money. Here's what we do. Come Monday, we start Tuesday, Monday. Monday usually we still load, get the stuff, and it'll be Tuesday morning, whatever. So for me, it was a full day. It'd be from 7, 8 o'clock in the morning until 6 o'clock at night. But all days I spent with Mike Ferranti, it was never a day of work. It was a day that he was going to teach me something about human nature. And it was, he was a philosopher of life, but didn't have the education, but he knew what meant. What was the important things of life, okay, besides money and everything else. So he said, okay, here's what we do. Every day, every week, I worked, the full 10, 12 hours. But like I said, it wasn't work. It was, I enjoyed it. That's it. And it was quick, and he was much slower, etc. But I can hold 2 or 3 accounts in my head while it was serving the ladies, or whatever, and the people. And at the end of the week, that whole summer, we would go to his house on 419 Monroe Street. Okay, that was his house. And at the end of the week, we would buy the stuff from Anthony Ciccolella, okay, was our buyer. Okay, so now, this is all cash. This is all cash. Okay, I would have hundreds, $1,000 in my pocket. Okay, no problem. Okay, he had total faith in me, and I couldn't take advantage of him, etc. So, the end of the week, we have to, every week I take the money out of my pocket and I give it to him, and he would put it away. And then on Saturday, we have to pay Anthony Ciccolella, the buyer for us, for the fruits for the week. Okay, and then it'll be whatever it was, $1,000, whatever. It's just all cash. So we would go to his house. We sit there. Would be me, Mike, and Bobby would be there. But his food truck was separate and apart. Okay, it was just me and Mike that we, with that business. Okay, that food truck. So he would take the money out that he put it away, all cash. He put it on the table. Okay, we need $1,200 for Anthony. We need $300 for the rent of the garage. So everything gets taken care of. So what's left on the table, that's from this pile of cash. Okay, this is the profit for the food truck business for the week. Okay, what does he do? You need money to go to college, etc. He says it's half for you and half for me. This is his business that he's been doing it since 1930, and this is 1967, 66, 67, and he's giving half the business. Okay, it was his business, and he's giving me half the profit from the business, and I was making more than I did as a civil engineer 5 years later. That's he had a heart of gold. That's and I thought it was more commonplace, but it was he was exceptional, much more so than today than even then. Okay,
sure,
thinking back,
he could have just continued to
pay me whatever it was a
the
week,
hourly rate, which is probably very little.
But I was making more than with him with the full partnership. It's his business for 40 years, but he's making me a partner.
Wow.
Whatever it was, whatever we made, half is yours and half is mine. That's it.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
And
he
again,
was. He was
you're
amazing.
not a family member, and he's just really proud
Well-
that you're going on to college.
Yeah, well, it's 9 years that I've been with him. Okay, and like I said, I knew what he was going to do before he did, and he knew what I was going to do before I did it. I mean, it was hand in glove. Such as, I mean, it will be husband and wife, whatever. But there's nothing. There was. It was an exceptional relationship, which I have not been able to find anything close to it since.
Sure. He's passed, but
Yes.
I think you probably think of him often.
Well, yeah. I wish I remember his philosophy and his thoughts and things, etc. That would be because that would be of value to anyone. That would be of
Right.
value to anyone.
It's one of my favorite Hoboken stories. I've heard it before, but it's pretty intense. Pretty intense. So we're gonna meet. There might be a few more images, but we may speed dial them a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
Bobby Ferrante,
Yes.
as you
Which one?
mentioned, there's like a corner with vanity, street sign for him
Right.
at where
Yeah,
we
it's
7th and
7th and
Willow.
Willow.
I know
7th
it
and Willow.
well. I live right diagonal.
Not too far from it.
Yeah, the letters are the decal letters are peeling a little
Yes,
bit,
they are.
and
They-
they need
I
to
mean,
be
we-
upgraded a little.
I'll see if we can talk to the town.
Yes,
do it,
we'll see that.
something, Yeah,
We may just have to do it.
yeah. Well, it doesn't take much. I
doesn't.
got a 10-foot ladder, and
Yeah, sure.
I would have. Yeah, well, yeah. We don't just make no.
might
Yeah,
have
no,
to
we
just
should.
order
Yeah, I
that.
think we should. I think
Okay.
we should. I think
Sure.
we'll make it a point. We'll
And
make it a point.
here's Bobby.
Yeah, this is where we loaded up. This is where Anthony Chicolata. This is on 2nd and Willow, between 2nd and 3rd on Willow
Right.
Avenue. This is where we load up.
Sure.
Okay,
So
us and 10 or 12, 15 other trucks.
Bing cherries are 75 cents a pound. What are they, like $5 now?
Like, yeah,
Probably?
£4. Yeah, for
Yeah,
£4. Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. Tomatoes £2 for half an hour.
Right.
But this is like in the 70s.
Yeah.
The 60s was, which what I'm going back to. I can remember £3 for half an hour for tomatoes. Grapes
Gotcha.
£3 for half an hour.
Sure.
Peaches, apples and peaches £5 for half an hour. £4 or £5 for half an hour.
Got it. Got
It was, that's a different world. It's different. Yeah. Bartholomew, Bobby.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bobby also worked for the city, right?
Yes, he did
He
afterwards.
had like
Yes,
a
he did.
pickup truck.
Well,
Not
no,
a pickup truck,
no, he
but a
worked
small
for-
truck
yeah,
that
he
would
worked for in the
help for
garage. Yeah.
sanitation
Right.
stuff.
Yeah.
But,
He did.
uh,
I think probably he needed that for the for
Medical.
Yeah, right. The benefits.
Sure,
the benefits,
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
I mean, he definitely didn't make the money
Right.
that he made before.
And this is a nice formal group.
yes, yes.
You're not going to name everyone, but there's the priests in the background.
Mike Guglielmelli. Okay,
Right.
this is like in the late '60s. Oh, this would be in the back of Mike Guglielmelli's father. It was it's right behind Carlos, and Carlos is on Adams Street. Carlos was on Adams Street,
Right.
And then Ray Fiore's whatever, Fiore's the deli, and this is on Jefferson Street. Okay, this there would be the backup, but it had a big size back room, and that's where this picture was taken.
Sure.
Okay,
And he was
he was being ordained. Okay, that's when he
okay.
became a priest.
sure. He came a priest a little later in life, right?
Yeah, I guess it was in
And-
the '60s. I guess this was
and,
60s or '70s. Yeah.
Associated with St. Francis for many
For sure.
years, and
for sure.
a sad story of his demise. But people
shame,
talk
yeah.
about him all the time.
Yeah, and his father, Mike Guglielmelli's father, was a very close friend of Mike Ferrante. Mike Ferrante is right in the middle.
Okay,
Okay, and which we talked
covered.
about.
Yeah, definitely.
And to his right is Bobby Ferrante.
Oh, that's right, a young Bobby.
Just a young Bobby, and that's
Yeah,
his wife.
sure.
She's the only one that's still alive.
Right.
Is-
And the
is-
Ferrantes and the Palmisanos kind of jointly owned the Sinatra property.
Well, yeah, it's
Right.
419, 470, yes.
Yeah, that's
Well,
right.
you see what it is. What's in Palmisano is Antoinette,
Right.
his oldest daughter.
Yes. Right.
Okay, because she married Frank Palmisano,
Right.
and that's why that's where that's where that part of the family. But it all comes from the same tree,
Yeah, that's true.
Mike Ferrante tree. Yeah, there's no
Yeah.
question about it. Yeah, and they picked up some of his be able to judge people because they can judge characters and
Right.
stuff. And that's his brother Nick.
Okay.
And it's
Sure.
to the right of Antoinette.
Okay.
Yeah.
The father looks pretty happy in that shot.
Well, yeah.
Sure.
Well, it was a good time. He
Right.
became a priest and said, "Well, we're just this is a celebration."
It's a big deal.
And it's it's in the back room of my Father Michael Guglielmelli's father.
Right. So
Okay.
it's all in the family.
Yeah. Well, it's all family. Yeah. Well, and we would load up right next door to it. Okay,
Right.
where the garage was, our garage was on Jefferson Street. This is on Jefferson Street.
Gotcha.
Between 4th and 5th on Jefferson Street.
Okay.
That was different.
So let's see what else we have photographically. Oh, this shot of you and your mom on the
Yes.
roof.
Yes, a great
Looking out
North.
to where we saw the clothesline before in the garages
Yes,
with the
this
three,
is the same
three
shot.
friends. Yeah.
Yes, this is the same shot.
And,
Yes, this is the same. Except there was no grapevine then. There is
right.
a grapevine now.
And
okay, this is,
I've had the privilege to being on your
yes.
roof.
Well,
And
I
it's-
think you took this picture.
I think I did too.
Yes, you did. I'm
And
sure,
it was
yeah.
a bright sunny day. It was
It was
hard
about
to
10,
get
15,
it all.
10, 15, 10,
Yeah, 2010.
yeah,
and,
when we did the book. Yeah.
You have I think it's the most impressive grapevine that I know of.
It's
And the trunk of this grapevine
It's huge.
looks like the Jolly Green Giant's tree. Yeah, it's a tree. For God's sake. Anyway, that's pretty cool.
That's been
Yeah,
let's
definitely.
take it hard.
Yep.
Well, it's driving because
Sure.
with the
So we've had a great hour plus with Domenick
You're
Amato.
kidding me.
Yeah.
Where did time go?
That's right. That's right. So we're going to do a few credits, but I want to hear your calls one more time. Can you do?
Peaches, tomato, strawberries. Here we got a full book. Best idea. Watermelon.
Okay, you heard it. You heard it here. And if you're driving around Hoboken around 8th and 8th and Garden,
That's where
give a holler to Domenick and just yell out peaches from your car window, and he will probably give
Well, I
a
used to have
report
grapes.
back. Grapes. Anyway, this is very cool. So we'll mention that upcoming shows will be with John O'Brien, who worked for the fire department for many years. And after that, it will be with Shakira Fraser Rosa. So Hoboken Talks is coming in loud and clear on Thursdays. We alternate on Thursdays. And then many thanks to some of our sponsors for not just this program, but other things that the museum does. The New Jersey Historical Commission, one of our keystone grantors. The New Jersey Council for the Humanities, who sponsored our current exhibit. And then, of course, these are folks who really make the Hoboken strong with their commitment to Hoboken history and with their dollars. Dollars are important, but the passion for Hoboken history and Hoboken is so important. And we call them the Shipyard Circle. Other keystone supporters are Iron State, which we thank every day. They provide our space here at the museum. And a few other thank yous are in order, but a reminder that our current exhibit, The Fires, Hoboken 1978 to 82, will close December 22nd, 2023. And you still got some time to check it out. If you haven't seen it, it's really been an interesting show because we meet so many people who are not familiar with the subject or are actually very familiar with the subject and want to sort of share their memories or find out more about this topic. And upstairs in the upper gallery, we have the story of the heap, which will be up until November 5th. The heap takes a little too long to explain, but it's unlike any other show you've seen here in Hoboken. And many thanks to Paul Andrico and his Puppet Heap crew, a very unique business here in Hoboken. Upcoming upcoming presentations in the museum will be Dr. Molly Bowman Marcus, Marcus will be talking about gentrification down the shore and comparing, I guess you would say, connecting things going on in Asbury Park, New Jersey, and how it has connected to Hoboken's connections to gentrification. And that will be here in the museum. And again, we'd love you to share your thoughts on the program tonight. You can do that on YouTube if you're a subscriber, and it helps us get the word out about all the things we do here at the museum. I want to thank Rand Hoppe for engineering it. He had a busy week, but he's here full force and made got the visuals together. And we obviously could have talked for another hour,
Easily.
I'm sure, but we'll have to save it for another time.
Very
So
easy.
have a great evening. This was a great evening for me. Dominic, did you have a good time?
Very good. I appreciate it.
One more time, Peaches.
Peachy, tomato. That's
Thank you, Dominic. We're going out.
okay.